It's Thursday, August 22. In the headlines, the National Housing Trust gives an update on homeowners' comprehensive policy and special hurricane Beryl relief initiatives. In business news, the Bank of Jamaica announces reduced policy interest rate by 25 basis points. Regionally, Caribbean journalists educated on climate change. And in sports, news on the Caribbean Schools Boxing Championships. This is the news on PBC Jamaica. I'm Simone Absalom Gale. Applications are still open at the National Housing Trust for Jamaican homeowners in need of disaster relief services following the passage of Hurricane Beryl. NHT representatives participating in a JIS think tank shared that mortgagors whose properties were damaged by Hurricane Beryl on July 3 now have until August 26 to file claims under the Homeowners Comprehensive Policy Peril Insurance.
Corporate Risk and Insurance Manager at NHT, Stephen Clark, says peril insurance covers a range of disastrous incidents, including fire, hurricane, storm, earthquake, and theft.
You pay a monthly premium, and a portion of that goes towards your peril insurance cover. It is topical now because of Beryl. So effectively, to make a peril claim, we have made the process very easy. You can access forms and guidelines. The guidelines are on our website. You can visit any one of our branches. And we have reps in branch ready to serve and to ensure that the process is completed seamlessly.
You can access the form and guidelines on the NHT's website, www.nht.gov.jm, and visit any of its branches. To submit a claim, mortgagors are required to present a completed form, photographs of the damage, an estimate detailing the cost to repair the property, their tax registration or TRN number, and a valid identification.
After you would have done that, in the case of Hurricane Beryl, we ask that you get an estimate done by a certified or a reputable repairer and submit that estimate to the branch along with a completed form and pictures outlining whatever damage you would have suffered.
Mr. Clark says a letter of authorization must be presented if someone is submitting a claim on behalf of the mortgagor. As of now, the NHT has received 170 applications. The
5 chief areas, and for those persons who were tracking Beryl, they would have seen where the eye would have passed, would be St. Catherine, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, along that belt, and Clarendon. We expect somewhere in the region of another 100 to come. We're happy that it is not the worst that we'd have seen. The worst I would have seen would be Hurricane Ivan in 2004, which we saw 1,758 submissions. We expect something a little bit under 300 this time around.
He says 70% of the damage has been roof-related.
Jamaicans are being given more time to pay their electricity bills. Minister of Science, Energy, Telecommunications and Transport, Darrell Vaz, made the announcement on Wednesday during a press conference. Minister Vaz says the action was taken by the Jamaica Public Service in recognition of the challenges many customers faced after Hurricane Beryl's passage and the higher bills now being seen.
JPS will continue to facilitate flexible payment plans for persons who need more time to pay. Requests are being dealt with on a case-by-case basis, and customers can make requests for payment plans through JPS mobile app or by calling the Customer Care Center, and of course, keeping the ministry in the loop to track that.
In addition, customers can register concerns with the ministry via email to jpscomplaints@mset.gov.jm and OUR complaints at mset.gov.jm. Minister Vaz also explained what he termed a zero consumption for customers out of supply.
While the JPS has a regulatory requirement to ensure customers are billed in a timely manner, it appreciates the frustration and experience by customers without supply who have received bills for the period that they are out. In cases where estimated bills were sent out to persons who had no supply, JPS will cancel these bills and generate new bills representing zero consumption and therefore $0 owed.
Meanwhile, JPS says it is still on track for its August 31 deadline for full restoration.
It says over the past week, JPS has restored 7,000 customers in St. Elizabeth. As of yesterday evening, 3,247 customers remained without electricity, with 34,549 customers already restored within the parish. JPS continues to navigate factors such as the weather and the terrain, but remains on track to meet, let me repeat that, remains on track to meet its commitment to the government to achieve full restoration of electricity services by August 31st.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is reporting that Mpox has been reported in the Cayman Islands. Mpox, also known as monkeypox, is an infectious disease caused by the monkeypox virus. It can cause a painful rash, enlarged lymph nodes, and fever. Most people fully recover, but some get very sick. Speaking at a virtual press brief on Thursday, Chief Medical Officer Mrs. Jacqueline Bessessa McKenzie explained that anyone can get Mpox.
Direct contact with Mpox skin lesions, scabs, body fluids, contact with clothing or linens used by an infected person, and droplets through coughing or sneezing of an individual with the Mpox rash, or via the placenta from mother to fetus during close contact after birth. The virus will enter the body through broken skin, even if this break in the skin is not visible, through the respiratory tract or the mucous membranes.
In fact, I'm just reading on the newswire here, subject to confirmation, that one of our closest neighbors, Cayman, has recorded 2 cases of monkeypox. So it is, we will await confirmation on that, but the reality is that we do expect the risks because of the openness of our borders, the normalness of travel and international travel, and of course the interaction with persons from far and wide. Hence the importance of the conversation now, even though we are not yet seeing a case in Jamaica.
The Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, says the Jamaican economy will contract marginally for the financial year 2024-2025 due to the impact of Hurricane Beryl. Danita Rodney has the details.
BOJ Governor Richard Bowles made the projection while speaking at the bank's quarterly media briefing on Wednesday. He says the Category 4 storm wiped out an estimated $6 billion in economic output.
As you are aware, Jamaica's resilience was tested by the passage of the hurricane in July. It impacted the island on the 3rd of July as a Category 4 storm with maximum wind speeds of 230 kilometers per hour. Infrastructure damage to schools, roads, electrical networks, and telecommunication systems is estimated to be very significant. Preliminary estimates of the damage and loss to the agriculture and fisheries sector is $5.7 billion, which is 0.2% of GDP.
The central bank governor expects this shock will cause an economic contraction of as much as 1.5% of total gross domestic product or GDP.
In relation to demand conditions for financial year 2024-25, the bank projects that real economic activity will be in a range of minus 1.5% to 0.5%, while real GDP in the financial year 2025 to 26 is projected to grow by 1.5%.
Governor Biles indicated that the outlook for the next financial year suggests a partial rebound in economic activity.
The outlook for financial year 25-26 reflects a partial rebound in economic activity following the declines of financial year 24-25.
Even with the possibility of a decline in economic output, the BOJ governor says the bank expects inflation to remain stable within the 4 to 6% target range. Reporting for the news on PBCJ, I am Denita Rodney.
Time now for the business report with Denise Williams.
Good day, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the Business Report. I'm Denise Williams, your guide through the latest happenings in the world of business. Sagicor Group Jamaica Limited has advised that at a meeting of its board of directors to be held on September 4, 2024, an interim dividend payment will be considered. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Jamaica, BOJ, met on August 16 and 19, 2024, and reduced policy interest rates by 25 basis points.
Effective today, the 21st of August, the bank has reduced the policy rate by 25 basis points to 6.75%. We will also continue to gradually reduce BOJ's absorption of liquidity from DTIs.
In making its decision, the Monetary Policy Committee acknowledged that despite the impact of Hurricane Beryl, inflation is expected to stay within the bank's target range over the next 2 years.
The MPC notes that as stated by the government's domestic fiscal policy, they intend to address the post-hurricane recovery efforts by utilizing existing savings and insurance, and by reprioritizing its expenditure envelope. In this context, the MPC is of the view that fiscal policy will continue to pose no risk to inflation over the near term. In addition, the lagged impact of the bank's relatively tight monetary policy position also continues to have an impact on the economy going forward.
Sagicor Group Jamaica shared its second quarter performance for 2024, which highlighted major developments in the St. Catherine Parish. New Brunswick Village came in at a cost of $6 billion Jamaican dollars, and on the residential side of the development includes 89 units, which include studios, 2-bedroom apartments, and townhouses. On the commercial side, New Brunswick Village will provide Spanish Town and its environs with retail opportunities from entities such as Island Grill, Imperial Optical, Devon House Ice Cream, R.A. Williams Distributors, among others. A second Sagicor development in St. Catherine is called Portmore Promenade. This development was launched this year and is an $8.4 billion Jamaican dollar project on a 30-acre site. It is expected to create in excess of 1,500 jobs and will house restaurants, a BPO operation, supermarket, retail outlets, green spaces, and recreational facilities. During trading for the period of August 21, 2024, the following companies represent the top 3 most active stocks that investors bought and sold on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Fiberglass manufacturer and distributor Jamaica Fiberglass Producers Limited with 2,323,225 units represented 17.58% of the total market volume in terms of sales. Online teaching platform Edufocal Limited with 1,922,656 units represent 14.55% of the total market value in terms of sales. alternative energy provider Wigton Wind Farm Limited ordinary shares with 1,708,359 units represented 12.93% of the total market value in terms of sales. Moving from the money moves of investors, executives, and companies on the stock market, we turn to the Forex market. On August 21, 2024, the Bank of Jamaica reported that US $51.70 million was bought from Forex traders, while US $50.48 million was sold to Forex traders. Buying directly from the Bank of Jamaica, foreign currency traders sold the US dollar for $158.40 and bought the US dollar for $156.50. The difference between the buy and sell rate was $1.90, which represents a profit for Forex traders for every US dollar traded. Canadian Forex traders earned a trading profit of 87 cents from transactions with the Bank of Jamaica. The Canadian dollar was sold at $116.74 and bought for $115.87. For traders looking at the British pound, they pocketed a profit of $6.58, selling it for $207.17 and buying it for $200.59. For our credit report tip of the day, we continue to look at bundling auto loans and mortgages if you're in the market for a car and a house. And we want you to benefit from this strategy because you can enjoy lower interest rates, simplified payments, and maybe exclusive perks depending on the bank you choose. Underpinning this strategy is your credit score. When you bundle loans with a bank where you have a good credit history, the approval process can be faster and more efficient. The bank already has your credit information on file, which can speed up the process and reduce the paperwork required. And with that, we wrap up today's business report. I'm Denise Williams. Appreciate your company. Stay well informed, stay ahead of the curve. Until our next update, take care.
In regional news, 12 journalists from across the Caribbean got an opportunity to gain insight into the realities of climate change in the region. The Caribbean Community Climate Change Center hosted a regional media forum earlier this month in Belize in partnership with the Caribbean Broadcasting Union. Trinidad and Tobago journalist Carissa Douglas attended and tells us more in this feature.
Executive Director of the Caribbean Community Climate Change Center, Dr. Colin Young, said they have noted a knowledge gap between those employed in climate change-related industries and the public. Hence the need to engage an audience who he believes has an indispensable role in educating the public.
Whether it's digital, whether it's TV, whether it's news, it's important that journalists, in order for them to communicate effectively, understand the science of climate change in a way that they can engage audiences in an effective manner. And so we thought that who better else to collaborate with than the CBU, who has a very strong reputation and network of journalists across the region.
While Dr. Young stressed his aim is never to present a message of doom and gloom regarding climate change, he noted the science and impacts are clear.
Our leaders across the region, pick your country, they will tell you that climate change is an existential threat. It is undermining our ability to meet our sustainable development agenda. And we're paying for it in lives and livelihoods. And worst of all, it is something that we did not cause. So it's a socially unjust issue.
The 5C's executive director lamented their unfulfilled promises, saying efforts articulated by those in authority are being implemented at a much too slow rate.
And the truth is, the absolute naked truth, is that the world is heading in the wrong direction despite all of the public commitments that we've heard from those who are most responsible for causing climate change. The science is very clear when it comes to climate change. We know that in order for us to keep 1.5 alive, this temperature goal set by the Paris Agreement, that we have to cut emissions by 4 to 5% by 2030.
The 5Cs has been collaborating with various countries to address the issue, including the installation of coral reef early warning systems, exploring the recycling and reusing of water, and the installation of automatic weather stations.
So we have to transition away from fossil fuels to renewable energy. We have to look at transitioning away food and food production systems from fossil fuel energy. We have to electrify electricity. We have to move away from coal and go to things like wind and solar.
During the Caribbean Broadcasting Union's 35th Media Awards, journalists were also awarded by the 5Cs for their reports on climate change-related topics. Carissa Douglas, TTT News.
In Belize, UDP leader Moses Shine Barrow met with music legend Vybz Kartel in Jamaica, receiving an endorsement for his bid for Prime Minister and a commitment from Vybz Kartel to visit Belize soon. Barrow, who previously visited Kartel while he was incarcerated, described the recent meeting as moving. However, critics argue that Barrow's association with Kartel may not be appropriate for the leader of the opposition. When asked about this, he shared this perspective.
To see the journey to freedom and to have been a part of that, because obviously when you go and you see someone held in captivity, you pray for them, pray for their family, you pray for their freedom. And to see that he has gotten his freedom, you know, it is a testament of his resilience. And I believe it's something that all of us could learn from, especially the youth. I know a lot of the youth in Belize look up to him. Even people my age, you know, we grew up to his music. I'm 45. But it teaches, life teaches you whether you want to learn or not. And so, innocence or guilt, I believe we go through these journeys, these challenges, to learn lessons. And so my prayer and hope for him is that he would have learned whatever it is the universe wanted to teach him, and that he would be patient with himself. Obviously, you know, we're musical brothers, and we have that camaraderie. He meant so much to me that I traveled to Jamaica to see him, and we stayed in touch. And so when I was visiting with the Prime Minister and other political figures and investors, I don't forget my roots, right? So it's not as if, because I'm a member of parliament and the opposition leader, I will forget my music roots, never.
We saw that he endorsed your bid for Prime Minister here in Belize. What does his endorsement do for your campaign?
You know, he also is in St. Vincent right now, and he met with the Prime Minister of St. Vincent, Ralph Gonzalez. I appreciate a friend being a friend, you know, but I have to do the work along with my colleagues. You know, we have to get 60 seats. So this is not the United States or other democracies where the people vote for their prime minister, vote for their president. But I appreciate his vote of confidence for what it is worth. But we have a lot of work here to do in Belize.
Critics, however, and I'd just like a brief thought on it, who say that a man of your stature who's vying for national leadership shouldn't be associating himself so closely with somebody who pushes this type of artistry that promotes vulgarity, lewdness, and even violence in some cases.
Yes, no, I believe in freedom of speech. And as I said, Prime Minister Gonzalez, who is a senior Prime Minister in the Caribbean from St. Vincent, just met with him. And so, no, I don't judge the artists. You know, I embrace artistry. I don't believe in restricting the creatives. I believe that it is the responsibility of the state to change the circumstances that a lot of these artists sing about. And if we change the circumstances, then they can't be popular, because what they'll be singing about will not be a reality.
Guyana's Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examination results for 2024 revealed a modest dip in overall pass rates, slipping from 67.37% in 2023 to 63.23% this year. Chief Education Officer Saddam Hussein revealed this data during a press conference on Tuesday. And according to Education Minister Priya Manik-Chand, interventions are being made to address shortcomings. Kurt Campbell reports.
Out of 11,612 students who tackled the CSEC examinations this year, the statistics reveal both progress and setbacks. Chief Education Officer Saddam Hussein highlighted that there was notable increase in performance across 12 subject areas. Meanwhile, 7 subjects held steady and another 7 saw exceptional results with pass rates exceeding 90%. Grades 1 to 3 are considered pass grades at the CSEC examinations. English A saw a slight decrease, dropping from 72% in 2023 to 69% in 2024. English B showed improvement. In mathematics, a critical subject for many, also saw a decrease. However, in advanced mathematics, there was an increase. In the realm of technical and vocational education and training, TVET, most subjects performed strongly, with pass rates above or around 80%, except for clothing, textiles, and fashion, which saw a lower pass rate of 71%. The setbacks did not escape the attention of Education Minister Priya Manik-Chand, who has already announced interventions.
Don't put mathematics in the afternoon. That's after we spoke to children. They said, you put it in the afternoon, we're just waiting to get over the day. It's too hot, it's too late, we're too tired. So you got to put the maths and schedule it, timetable it for the morning. Give more periods to mathematics. So we got to drop some things. Queen's College does 3 foreign languages. I know your business, which is why I'm calling you. I'm not picking on you. They do 3 foreign languages in first form, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. But 6 periods of math. Do you need 3 foreign languages in first form? So those are some of the things we have to look at. More periods to math.
In sports, we step into the boxing ring. Team Barbados are back from the 2024 edition of the Caribbean Schools Boxing Championships with all the members sporting medals. CBC's Mark Seal reports.
The team returned from the Winfield Brathwaite Caribbean Schoolboys and Schoolgirls Boxing Championship in Guyana, with all 3 athletes medaling in their respective categories, securing 2 gold and a bronze. Coach and team manager Frederick Field was extremely pleased with the team's performance, knowing how hard they prepared.
I couldn't be more proud of the whole team. We were up against the whole of Caribbean, and many teams had 20 members, 15 members. We only had 3 members, but yet we were still able to secure 2 golds and a bronze, and I think that's tremendous. These guys train every day, actually. Their preparations comprise of running and skipping and physicals training, like strength training and all that, and still their boxing training that they do at the gym every day.
He noted that this tournament is a stepping stone for the younger athletes who would like to be at the Olympics one day.
This tournament was started in 2016. It's an innovation of the Guyana Boxing Association and the government of Guyana. Is what we like to call the foundation to the Olympics or the Caribbean Olympics, because it's mainly based and structured around the young people that are now coming into the sports, the schoolboys and girls, the juniors and the youth.
Both Ashan Miller and Jaquan Grant got gold in the 80 kg junior and 66 kg junior events respectively, while Kai Reed got bronze in the 80 plus kilogram category. Caribbean champion in the 66 kg junior, Jaquan Grant, says his hard training paid off, and he is still on cloud 9 after winning that gold.
I would have trained hard, knowing that going there wouldn't be easy. The competition wouldn't be easy. I was training very hard. Coming back with a gold medal representing the country, it felt really good. I felt really proud of myself. I just felt proud.
Grant said the skill of boxing was passed down to him from his grandfather, who he grew up watching, and he's quite certain that he will pursue boxing full-time.
And that's it for the news on PBCJ. You can follow us on our social media platforms at PBCJamaica. Thanks for watching.